Are you ready to change your life in just 1 week? Not with empty promises or quick fixes, but with real steps that work. Imagine waking up each day feeling stronger, clearer, and more in control than ever before. What if one simple shift every day could make you unrecognizable? Not just to others, but to yourself. This video will show you how to take back your time, energy, and confidence through powerful, practical actions anyone can do. We'll explore how facing your weaknesses, cutting out what drains you, owning your presence, and doing one hard thing daily can completely transform your mindset and habits. If you're tired of feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or invisible, this is your chance to take real action. Stay with me because these steps are designed to push you forward, build your strength, and help you become the best version of yourself faster than you think possible. Number 1, wake up at 5 a.m. and face your weaknesses directly. Wake up at 5 a.m. and face your weaknesses directly. That's not just a challenge, that's a decision. It's a decision to stop running from the parts of yourself you've been ignoring. Because no one changes by accident, and no one becomes unrecognizable by doing what's comfortable. When the alarm rings at 5 a.m., it's not just a signal to start the day. It's a test of who's in charge, you or your excuses. You or your fear, you or your past. That early hour holds more power than you realize. While the world sleeps, you choose to take your power back. You choose to stand up and say, I'm done with being average. And don't tell yourself you're not a morning person. That's not true. You just haven't had a reason strong enough to rise early. But if your life depended on it, you'd get up. So now, make your life matter enough to do it anyway. Not because it's trendy, but because you've been too soft with yourself for too long. And it's time for change. When you wake up at 5 a.m., you face yourself without filters. There's no noise, no distractions, no one to impress, just you. That silence is not empty. It's full of answers. But only if you're brave enough to sit with it. Only if you stop distracting yourself with comfort and entertainment. You've got to feel what you've been avoiding. That's the beginning of transformation. And yes, it's hard. Growth is not a smooth ride. You're going to feel tired. You're going to want to hit snooze. You're going to question yourself. That's normal. But the people who change don't wait for perfect feelings. They move through the resistance. They get up anyway. They sit in the discomfort. And slowly they become someone new. You need to hear this today. The person you want to become already exists inside you. But that version of you only shows up when you do the hard things. The version of you who keeps sleeping in, making excuses, staying in patterns, that version is familiar. And maybe that's why you've stayed the same. Because it's easier to be familiar than it is to be free. But you weren't meant to stay stuck. There's more inside you. More energy. More discipline. More courage. But it won't show up on its own. You've got to wake it up. Literally at 5 a.m. every day. No negotiation. That's how change begins. Now, when I say face your weaknesses directly, I mean all of them. Not just the ones you're comfortable admitting. I mean the thoughts you don't say out loud. The habits you know are killing your progress. The laziness you defend. The lies you tell yourself. The people you blame. All of it. Bring it out into the open. Write them down. Look at them. Say them out loud. You cannot fix what you don't face. If you lie to yourself about your own weaknesses, you'll never be strong. Strength starts with honesty. If you waste time pretending you're fine, you'll never get better. But if you admit where you're falling short, even if it hurts, you start to grow. Facing your weaknesses isn't about shame. It's about ownership. You don't get stronger by ignoring what's broken. You get stronger by working on it daily. 1 hour, 1 step, 1 decision at a time. That's the power of waking up early. It gives you time to face your flaws while everyone else is still hiding from theirs. So what do you do at 5 a.m.? Don't just scroll. Don't waste it. Sit quietly. Reflect. Think about who you've been. Think about who you want to become. Then plan your day with intention. Don't leave it to chance. Start with action. Get your body moving. A walk, a workout, anything. Remind yourself that your body responds to discipline. Then grab a notebook. Write your goals. Write what you're afraid of. Write what you want to change. This is how you take control. If you've been unfocused, scattered all over the place, this is your reset. You don't need more motivation. You need more structure. You need a system. And that starts with this one habit. Getting up early and looking yourself in the mirror without hiding. Do that every day for a week and watch how your confidence starts to rise. You'll start to walk differently, talk differently, think differently, because self-respect is built in private. You earn it by doing the things you promised yourself you'd do. You earn it by not breaking your own word. When you prove to yourself that you can be disciplined, your identity changes, and that's how you become unrecognizable. Not by buying new clothes, not by pretending to be someone else, but by becoming someone who takes themselves seriously. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be committed. Every day you wake up early, you cast a vote for the future version of you, and every day you skip it, you reinforce the version you say you don't want to be. The results are slow, but the shift is real, and you'll feel it. In the way you carry yourself, in the way you speak, in the way others respond to you. But remember this, no one will do it for you. And most people won't even understand why you're doing it. That's fine. You don't need their approval. You don't need their permission. This is your life, your mind, your future. Take it seriously. Own your time. Own your choices. Waking up early is not a trick. It's a tool. Use it to rebuild yourself. Use it to fix what's broken. Use it to focus on what matters. Use it to disconnect from the noise and reconnect to your purpose. This one decision done with consistency can trigger a chain of powerful changes. That's how you become unrecognizable. People won't know what happened to you. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. Because you decided to stop living like everyone else. You decided to face the truth instead of hiding in distraction. You decided to stop wasting time and start building something real. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, get up. No snooze, no excuses. Stand up and take your life seriously. Look at yourself and say, I'm not going back. Do that 7 days in a row. Do it with focus. Do it with honesty. Do it like your future depends on it, because it does. This is where it begins. Not in some dream, not in some perfect plan, but right here, right now, with one alarm, 1 hour, and one honest look in the mirror. That's how you begin to become unrecognizable in 1 week. Number 2, cut out junk food and fuel your body right. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, you have to change what you put in your body. Starting today, you can't expect energy, strength, and confidence to show up if you keep feeding yourself like your life doesn't matter. Your food choices are not just about weight. They're about discipline, respect, and the message you're sending to yourself every single day. Most people are tired and drained not because they work too hard, but because they eat like they don't care. They wake up and fill their body with sugar, grease, and chemicals, and then wonder why they feel foggy, anxious, and unmotivated. That's not bad luck. That's the result of unconscious habits. You want to feel sharp? You want to feel powerful? Then stop poisoning your system with junk that adds nothing to your life and takes everything from it. If you eat what's fast and easy, your life will become slow and difficult. If you eat what's clean and right, your life becomes sharper and more alive. The connection is direct. You can't build discipline in your mind while giving in to every craving in your body. One breaks the other. If your body is in chaos, your mind will follow. If your body is tired, your decisions will get lazy. This is not about diets or fads. This is about honoring your potential with every bite you take. Every time you open your mouth to eat, you're making a choice about the direction of your life. And that's not an exaggeration. Every can of soda, every bag of chips, every processed snack is a small decision with big consequences. It steals your focus, it steals your energy, and it feeds the part of you that doesn't care about growth. You want to become someone new, then don't eat like the old you. You got to stop using food as an escape. Food is not therapy. Food is not your friend. Food is fuel. It's your responsibility to treat it that way. And if you've built a habit at turning to junk food when you feel sad, angry, or bored, then it's time to replace that habit with strength. The problem isn't that life is hard. The problem is that you've trained yourself to find comfort in things that hurt you. That cycle has to break. If you wake up tired, dragging through your day, craving more sleep, more caffeine, more sugar, pay attention. Your body is trying to tell you something. It's begging you to stop stuffing it with low-quality fuel. It's begging you to take your health seriously. And your health is not about looking good. It's about showing up fully, showing up with energy, showing up with clarity. You don't get that by accident. You get that by cutting out what you know is holding you back. So here's the truth you need to face. Junk food is not innocent. It's a choice that keeps you average. It's a habit that keeps you tired. It's a decision that keeps you small. And every time you give in to it, you weaken your commitment. You send the message to yourself that comfort matters more than growth. That moment of pleasure is not worth the long-term cost. Because what it takes from you Your focus, your energy, your discipline is far more than what it gives. You're not going to feel like eating healthy every day. That's the point. Discipline doesn't come from feelings. It comes from decisions made in advance. You don't wait until you're in the kitchen to what to eat. You plan, you prepare, you decide ahead of time that your body deserves better. And then you follow through, even when you don't feel like it. That's how self-respect is built. If you want to become unrecognizable in 7 days, then give yourself the food your future needs. Eat for clarity. Eat for energy. Eat for strength. The people who build real momentum don't rely on motivation. They build systems. They remove temptations. They clean out their kitchen. They make it easy to do the right thing and hard to do the wrong one. If junk food is in your house, you will eat it. So don't just tell yourself you'll resist. Remove it completely. The first few days will be uncomfortable. You'll crave the sugar. You'll think about your favorite snacks. You'll tell yourself just one more. But every time you say no, you're saying yes to the stronger version of yourself. That version is already inside you, but it's buried under habits that have kept you tired and distracted. Now it's time to dig it out, one decision at a time. Your taste buds will adjust, your cravings will change, your body will start to respond. You'll feel lighter, not just physically, but mentally. You'll wake up with more energy. You'll think clearer, you'll move faster. You'll stop feeling like everything is a struggle. This is what happens when you stop working against yourself. This is what happens when you stop numbing and start fueling. You want to feel more confident? Start by eating like someone who respects themselves. You want to be more focused? Then stop filling your body with the same foods that made you slow in the first place. You want to level up your life? Then stop feeding the version of you that you're trying to outgrow. This is the real work. Not reading another book, not watching another video, not making more plans, but changing what you put in your body. Starting now. And here's what most people don't understand. Discipline in one area creates discipline everywhere. When you cut out junk food, you're not just getting healthier, you're getting sharper. You're becoming someone who can say no to anything that doesn't serve your future. That strength shows up in your work. It shows up in your relationships. It shows up in your choices. If you've spent years eating on autopilot, now is the time to take control. This next week, eat with intention. Whole foods, water, no sugar, no processed garbage. Keep it simple. Give your body the respect it deserves. You only get one. Treat it like it matters. Because when you feel good, you act different. You show up different. You stop hiding and start owning your life. People around you will notice, not because you told them, but because your energy speaks for itself. You walk differently. You speak with more clarity. You move with purpose. That's what happens when your body is aligned with your goals. You don't need to make it complicated. You just need to start. Make this week the one where you stop feeding your weakness and start fueling your strength. And if you can do that, you're not just going to change how you look. You're going to change who you are. That's how you become unrecognizable, not someday. This week. Number 3, delete distractions and reclaim control of your time. If you don't take back your time now, someone else will keep stealing it from you every single day. Most people are not tired because they've worked too hard. They're tired because they've wasted hours on things that don't matter. Distraction is the new addiction, and it's killing focus, clarity, and potential. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, start by removing what pulls your attention away from what actually builds your life. Look around at how you're spending your time. Every notification you check, every feed you scroll, every random video you click is silently training you to be passive. You might not feel the damage in one moment, but if you add it up over days, weeks, and years, it becomes the reason your goals stay stuck. You cannot build a new life while living in constant interruption. You need time to think, time to act, time to create. And that kind of time doesn't show up by accident. You have to fight for it. Every day you wake up with the same 24 hours as anyone else. But the difference in results comes down to one question. Who's in charge of your time? You or your distraction? If your phone decides your focus, if social media controls your thoughts, if messages demand your instant reaction, then you're not building your life, you're just reacting to everyone else's. That has to end. You don't need another productivity app. You need to remove what's destroying your discipline. You don't need better intentions. You need fewer temptations. You won't gain control by trying to manage a million things at once. You gain control by cutting the noise. That means deleting apps that waste hours. That means turning off notifications that break your flow. That means setting strict limits on where your attention goes. Because where your attention goes, your future follows. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. You already know what pulls you away. You already know the websites, the messages, the mindless habits that steal your hours. Stop pretending you don't. Stop calling it a break when you're really just avoiding the work. Stop calling it relaxing when it leaves you feeling empty and behind. You don't get your life back until you get your time back. Start small, but be firm. Delete one app that doesn't serve you. Block one site that wastes your time. Put your phone in another room when you work. Set a timer and focus on one task without switching. These changes sound small, but they build the habit of control. And control is what separates the people who create results from the people who just keep hoping. Ask yourself this: how many things are you doing each day just because they're easy to do? How many times have you said, "I'll just check for a minute," and lost an hour? That's not time management. That's time surrender. You're not behind because you're not talented. You're behind because your focus is leaking through holes you refuse to close. Most people spend more time reacting than creating. They scroll more than they plan. They talk more than they act. That's not because they're lazy. It's because distraction feels good in the moment. It gives your brain something quick and easy. But it takes from you in the long run. It removes your ability to go deep. It erodes your patience. It weakens your mental stamina. And over time, it shapes you into someone you don't even recognize. The truth is, if your mind is scattered, your life will be too. You can't expect strong results from a distracted mindset. You have to become someone who values attention like currency. Because it is where you put your attention decides what grows. And if you're giving your best hours to shallow things, then don't be surprised when you look back and realize nothing changed. Reclaiming your time is not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about choosing quality over quantity. You don't need to be busy all day to get results. You just need to be intentional. That means asking hard questions. What am I doing that gives me no return? What drains me? What adds no value? What leaves me empty? Then cut those things out without guilt, because your time is not disposable. It's your most valuable asset. This week, I challenge you to track every hour, not to judge yourself, but to open your eyes. See where your time is really going. You'll be surprised how much is lost in small, forgettable that. And once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. That awareness is powerful. It gives you the chance to stop living on autopilot and start taking charge. You don't need more time. You need better boundaries. Say no to things that don't push you forward. Say no to people who waste your energy. Say no to habits that pull you off course. Saying no is not rude, it's responsible. Your life depends on it. If something doesn't belong in your future, it doesn't belong in your present either. When you delete distractions, you don't just gain time, you gain mental space. You can think more clearly. You can decide faster. You can finish what you start, and that creates momentum. You start trusting yourself more. You stop feeling behind. You begin to experience what real focus feels like, and you won't want to go back. People will notice the change. You'll speak with more certainty. You'll move with more clarity. You'll stop giving energy to things that don't matter. You'll look around and realize that most people are lost in their screens, chasing empty rewards, while you're building something real. That's the moment you begin to separate. That's how you become unrecognizable. Not just to others, but to the old version of yourself that was buried in distraction. Discipline is not about being strict. It's about being free. Free from what holds you back. Free from what pulls you off purpose. Free from noise that clouds your mind. And you won't find that freedom until you delete the things that are stealing it. This is not extreme. This is necessary. 1 week is all it takes to see the difference. 1 week of focused time. 1 week without meaningless scrolling. 1 week of protecting your energy like it matters. Because it does. Your future depends on it. Every dream you have requires attention. Every goal you set needs time. Not someday, today. Not when it's easy. Reclaim your time, and you reclaim your life. Not by wishing, not by hoping, but by making clear decisions. Remove what distracts. Focus on what matters. Protect your time like it's your future, because it is. Number 4, write down your goals and chase them without fear. If you don't know exactly what you want, you'll settle for whatever shows up. That's how people lose years, reacting to life instead of designing it. Writing down your goals isn't just a task. It's the starting point of taking control. Until you put your goals on paper, they're not real. They're just wishes floating in your head. You can't chase what you haven't defined. And you can't reach a destination you never decided on. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, sit down with a pen and get serious about what you really want. People are afraid to write their goals because it forces them to be honest. If you write it down now, you're responsible for it. You can't hide behind confusion anymore. You can't say, I don't know what I want. Writing it down means you've chosen. Once you choose, you either act or you avoid. There's no middle. But avoidance doesn't make the dream go away. It just turns into regret later. And regret is a heavy price to pay for not being bold enough to write a few sentences and commit. Your goals are not meant to impress anyone. They're not meant to sound good. They're meant to be real, specific, clear, something you can see, feel, and touch. That clarity brings direction. The moment you define your goals, you stop drifting. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. You stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose. That shift alone can change everything. Get out a notebook. Not your phone, not your mind. A real notebook. Put it in front of you and ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what's safe, not what's practical. What do I really want? Be honest. Don't hold back. Don't shrink to fit other people's expectations. If it scares you, good, that means it's real. If it makes your heart beat faster, write it down. That's your future trying to speak through your fear. The moment you write it down, something changes. That's when you go from talking to doing, from ideas to plans, from scattered thinking to focused effort. That paper becomes your accountability. Read it every morning. Look at it before you go to bed. Let it remind you why you're not wasting another day. Let it guide your decisions. If it doesn't help you get closer to the goal, it doesn't belong in your day. But writing is not enough. You've got to move. Chase your goals with energy, with urgency, with a mindset that says this matters. Because if you don't act fast, your fear will catch up to you. Doubt will creep in. People will distract you. Life will try to convince you to play small again. That's why action is key. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. And when fear shows up, don't fight it. Walk through it. Fear doesn't go away by thinking, it goes away by doing. You don't build confidence by staying in your head. You build it by taking steps, even small ones, every day. The goal doesn't need to be reached in a day. It just needs to be moved toward. The most powerful people aren't fearless. They just don't let fear make their decisions for them. Every goal has resistance attached to it. That's normal. But most people turn around when they feel it. You can't do that anymore. The resistance you feel is proof that the goal matters. The fear you feel is a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. That's not a reason to stop. That's the reason to go harder. Push back. Take the next step. Prove to yourself that fear doesn't run your life. You don't need to know all the steps, just the next one. Too many people get stuck waiting for a perfect plan. You don't need a perfect plan. You need movement. Start where you are. Use what you have. Make mistakes. Learn. Adjust. But whatever you do, don't stand still. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. It won't. But your strength will grow as you move through it. Most people let fear make their life decisions. They shrink their dreams to match their doubt. You're not doing that anymore. From now on, you match your actions to your vision. Even if it's uncomfortable. Especially if it's uncomfortable. That's where growth lives. That's where new results begin. Keep your goals visible. Read them often. Track your progress. Don't just dream. Measure. How many hours are you putting into your goal? How many steps have you taken this week? If you're not moving, be honest with yourself. Don't blame the world. Don't make excuses. Just look at your actions and ask, is this aligned with the life I want? If it's not, change it quickly. You will be tested. You'll have days where nothing goes right. Days where you want to quit. Days where fear feels bigger than your courage. That's where most people stop. But you're not most people. You don't stop because it's hard. You keep going because you've written it down. You've committed to it. And now it's non-negotiable. That kind of mindset changes everything. People will doubt you. Some will mock you. Others will try to convince you to be realistic. That's fine. Their opinion isn't your responsibility. Your responsibility is to stay focused, stay driven, stay clear. You didn't write down your goals to impress the world. You wrote them down to change your life. Don't forget that. Make the next 7 days about serious movement. Every day, revisit your goals. Every day, do something that pushes you closer. No matter how small, no matter how uncertain. The progress you make will build momentum. That momentum will build belief. And that belief will make you unstoppable. By the end of the week, you won't just feel different, you'll be different. Your thoughts will be clearer. Your days will be more focused. Your confidence will grow, not because someone gave it to you, but because you earned it. You took control, you made it real, you moved through the fear instead of avoiding it. And that's how you start becoming unrecognizable. One goal, written in ink. One step, taken without hesitation. 1 week, lived with courage. That's the formula. Now it's yours to use. Number 5, speak up with honesty and stop hiding your truth. The fastest way to take your power back is to speak your truth without fear. Hiding what you think, feel, or believe doesn't protect you. It weakens you. Every time you stay silent when something needs to be said, you lose a piece of yourself. You tell your mind that what you feel doesn't matter. You tell your heart that it's safer to stay quiet than to stand up. That silence becomes a habit, and over time it turns into a life that doesn't even feel like your own. You can't build confidence on top of pretending. If you want to grow, if you want to evolve, if you want to feel proud when you look in the mirror, you have to start by telling the truth, not just to others, but to yourself. What are you really thinking? What are you avoiding saying? What are you scared to admit out loud? You don't get strong by hiding. You get strong by standing in the middle of your truth and refusing to back down. You don't need to be aggressive. You just need to be real. Being honest doesn't mean being rude. It means respecting yourself enough to stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. You spent too much time second-guessing your words. Too many moments walking away from conversations wishing you had said what you really meant. That stops here. Not next month. Not next year. Now, start with yourself. Be brutally honest about what you've been avoiding. What are you tolerating that you know is wrong? Who are you pretending to be around people just to be liked? How many times have you nodded your head when your heart was screaming no? This is your life. You don't owe anyone a version of you that isn't true. And the longer you keep pretending, the more exhausted you become. When you speak the truth, you don't just free your voice. You free your entire life. You stop carrying the weight of fake conversations, fake smiles, and fake relationships. You give yourself permission to be seen fully. And that kind of freedom builds real self-respect. The kind that can't be faked. The kind that shows up in your energy, your posture, your decision. Fear of judgment keeps people silent. But here's the truth. No matter what you say, someone's going to judge it. So stop trying to avoid it. People are going to misunderstand you, whether you speak up or stay quiet. So why not at least be honest? If you're going to be judged, let it be for being real, not for being invisible. You were not born to fit in. You were born to live a life that's true to you. That only happens when you stop watering yourself down. You don't need to yell to be powerful. You don't need to argue to be strong. But you do need to say what matters. If something doesn't sit right with you, speak on it. If a boundary is crossed, say so. If you need something, ask for it. And if your opinion is different from the crowd, don't bury it just to belong. You have nothing to prove, but you have everything to protect. Your time, your energy, your peace, your integrity. All of that is tied to how honest you are in the moments that count. And most of the time, those moments are quiet. It's the decision to say no without explaining yourself. It's the courage to admit when something isn't working. It's the choice to stop pretending you're fine when you're not. The world trains you to be quiet, to play it safe, to agree. But that training has cost you your power. And now it's your responsibility to unlearn it. Every time you choose honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, you strengthen your identity. You stop being someone people can push around. You stop being someone who hides behind smiles and silence. You become solid, clear. You don't need a stage to speak up. You need courage in everyday moments. With family, with friends, at work, in your own head. Speak what's true, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if you lose something by doing it. Because what you gain by being honest is always more valuable than what you lose by pretending. Some people won't like the real you. That's okay. They were never meant to stay. The ones who matter won't be afraid of your truth. They'll respect it. They'll grow from it. And they'll give you the space to be who you are without needing to edit yourself. But you'll never find those people until you stop hiding to please the wrong ones. There is no peace in silence. That's built on fear. You'll always feel restless. You'll always feel something's missing. That something is your voice. It's the version of you that tells the truth, even when it's risky. That voice is your strength. That voice is your direction. The more you use it, the more power you take back from everything that tried to make you small. You can't become unrecognizable while still living in fear of your own voice. The shift begins when you decide that your truth matters enough to be spoken. Not later, not perfectly, just honestly. You don't have to be loud, you just have to be real. And when you start doing that, your life begins to reflect who you truly are, not who you've been pretending to be. The next time you feel that hesitation, that internal pull to stay quiet, pause and ask yourself, what does staying silent cost me? Does it buy me peace or does it buy me approval? If it's just a deferral, then speak up, because peace is built on truth, not on pleasing everyone. And the people who truly value you won't disappear when you speak honestly. They'll listen. This week, challenge yourself. Say what you mean. Say it kindly but clearly. Stop editing yourself for people who don't care about your growth. Stop nodding when your heart says no. And stop holding back your truth because you're afraid it might make waves. The truth always makes waves, but it also brings freedom. By the end of this week, you'll look at yourself differently. Not because everything around you changed, but because you changed. You'll walk taller, think clearer, feel lighter. Because nothing weighs more than the truth you didn't speak. And nothing sets you free faster than finally saying what needed to be said. Speak up. Stop hiding. The world doesn't need more silence. It needs your voice. It needs your honesty. It needs the real you. Strong, clear, and unafraid. That's how you become unrecognizable. That's how you stop surviving and start living. One truth at a time. One decision at a time. Starting now. Number 6, move your body every day and sweat with purpose. The quickest way to feel alive again is to move. Your body holds energy that your mind can't unlock on its own. If you want clarity, momentum, confidence, and strength, you have to start by using your body with purpose. Not casually, not when you feel like it, but daily, intentionally, with full effort. Every drop of sweat you earn isn't just about fitness. It's about reclaiming your discipline, reigniting your drive, and rebuilding the connection between your mind and your will. Every time you train your body to push past resistance, you also train your mind to stop giving up when things get uncomfortable. The moment you choose movement over excuses, you prove that you are still in charge of your life. Not your emotions, not your laziness, not your distractions. That power multiplies. One workout leads to a better mindset. A better mindset leads to sharper decisions. Sharper decisions create a better life. It all starts with showing up for your body every single day. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to be in perfect shape. You just need to stop negotiating with yourself. If you want energy, generate it. If you want strength, build it. If you want results, earn them. That happens through consistent, purposeful effort. Not random movement. Not just stretching or going for a walk when it's convenient. But sweating like your future depends on it. Because it does. Your body isn't just something you live in. It's the foundation of your focus, your emotions, your habits, and your discipline. If your body is weak, sluggish, or neglected, every other part of your life suffers. That's the hard truth most people ignore. But not you. Not anymore. You're here because you're done tolerating a life where your physical state limits your potential. You're done letting comfort win. You're ready to fight for your edge. Movement creates change. When your blood is pumping and your muscles are burning, you tap into a version of yourself that is alert, clear, and unstoppable. You stop caring about distractions. You stop overthinking. You stop doubting. In that moment of intensity, everything unnecessary falls away. All that's left is effort, breath, grit, and progress. That's where transformation lives, not in thoughts, not in intentions, but in action. Too many people wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the right mood or the right time. But you're not going to live an extraordinary life by waiting. You have to act before you feel like it. You have to move even when your mind says not today. Because on the other side of that resistance is pride, power, progress. You build that by showing up on the days you don't want to. Sweating with purpose means you train like it matters. Like your mental health depends on it. Like your self-worth depends on it. Because in many ways it does. There is something deeply powerful about choosing to suffer for your own growth. It reminds you that pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. And when you lean into it, you discover that you are far stronger than you thought. You don't need 2 hours. You don't need fancy equipment. You need intensity, focus, drive. You need to stop making it optional. You don't ask if you're going to brush your teeth. You just do it. That's how you need to treat your daily movement. Non-negotiable, essential. as necessary as sleep or food or water, because every time you show up, you earn respect from yourself. And that self-respect begins to shape how you do everything else in life. You become sharper at work, more confident in conversations, clearer in your goals, stronger under pressure. Not because you read more books, but because you moved your body and reminded yourself of your own power. EFO training rewires your brain to chase discomfort instead of avoiding it. It rewires your habits from passive to aggressive. It teaches you that you don't need motivation, you need motion. When you sweat on purpose, you don't just change your body, you shift your entire identity. You stop identifying as someone who gives up easily. You stop living like your time and energy are limitless. You stop chasing comfort and start pursuing mastery. That shift becomes permanent when your daily movement becomes consistent. No skipping, no excuses, no dragging your feet. The world is full of people with potential who stay stuck because they never learned to master their body. Don't be one of them. Your goals don't care about your fatigue. Your dreams don't care about your farness. What matters is that you continue, that you sweat like it's the price for freedom, that you train like the future version of you is watching. And depending on your actions today, you won't always feel like it. That's normal. What matters is that you do it anyway, because the more you move, the more energy you have. The more you sweat, the more focused you become. The more discipline you build, the more unstoppable you get. This isn't about perfection. It's about effort daily, deliberate, unrelenting effort. This is your reminder. Your body is not your enemy. It's your tool. It's your ally. It's your responsibility. Treat it like it matters. Push it, strengthen it, respect it. Not to impress anyone else, but to keep your own promises. To look in the mirror and know you didn't take the easy way out. To walk through life with the calm confidence that comes from knowing you're in control of yourself. If you're tired of feeling stuck, move. If you're overwhelmed, move. If you're uninspired, drained, foggy, or unsure, move. Because when you move your body with purpose, you trigger everything else in your life to elevate. Energy shifts, clarity returns, drive reignites. It doesn't take weeks, it starts the moment you begin. So stand up, get uncomfortable, get your heart rate up, push your limits. Not for the scale, not for the mirror, but for the standard you're setting for your life. Sweat with purpose. Sweat ache your future is worth fighting for, because it is. And the person you're becoming is already inside of you, waiting for you to move. Number 7, clean your space and remove what no longer serves. If you want to change your life, start by changing your environment. Your surroundings are a reflection of your mind. And if your space is filled with clutter, distractions, and things that don't serve you, then it's no wonder your energy feels scattered. You cannot rise into your next chapter while being buried under the weight of your past. Every object you keep should have a purpose. Everything in your environment should support your growth. If it doesn't, it needs to go. Letting go is hard at first, but what's harder is living in a space that drains you silently. Look around. What are you tolerating that you don't actually need? What are you holding on to that belongs to a version of yourself you've already outgrown? That extra pile of clothes, that unused gadget, that dusty box of memories, they all carry energy. And that energy takes up space that could be used for peace, focus, or creativity. You owe it to yourself to live in a place that breathes with clarity and intention. Cleaning your space is not just about dusting or organizing. It's about releasing what's weighing you down. It's about creating room for new possibilities to enter. When you live in an environment that's clean and intentional, your thoughts become sharper, your stress decreases, your goals feel more achievable. Clutter confuses your mind, even if you're not consciously aware of it. A messy space subtly tells your brain that things are out of control. And when you live in that energy, you lose the sharpness that's required to move forward with purpose. There are people who spend years feeling stuck, not realizing that part of the reason is the environment they've built around themselves. They've become so used to the mess that it feels normal. But normal doesn't mean helpful. If something makes you feel heavy, if it no longer aligns with who you want to become, it's time to let it go. Whether it's an old gift you no longer love, a stack of unread papers, or even furniture that brings the wrong energy. It all matters. Your home should not be a storage unit for guilt or indecision. It should be your sanctuary, a place that refuels you, not a place that reminds you of what you haven't finished, fixed, or let go of. When your environment is clean, your priorities become clearer. You can sit down to work without feeling overwhelmed. You can rest without guilt. You can move through your space without bumping into reminders of your own procrastination. This isn't about becoming a minimalist. It's about becoming conscious. Conscious of how your environment affects your energy. Conscious of what you allow around you. Conscious of what deserves to stay and what must leave. Most people never question the things they've surrounded themselves with. They just keep adding more. More stuff, more noise, more distraction. But what you really need is less. Less of what doesn't serve you. Less of what takes your focus. Less of what holds you in place when you're ready to evolve. Cleaning is a powerful ritual. It's a form of decision-making. Every time you let go of something, you're choosing clarity over confusion. You're choosing movement over stagnation. You're choosing to align your outer world with the inner life you're building. And that alignment is where peace begins. Start small. One drawer, one corner, one shelf, and be ruthless. Ask yourself, does this add value to my life right now? Not did it once, or might it someday? But does it serve me now? If the answer is no, release it. Donate it, recycle it, trash it, whatever it takes to make space for what matters more. And it's not just physical clutter that needs to go. Clean your digital world too. The apps you never use. The files you've been meaning to delete. The inbox full of unread junk. Those things chip away at your mental bandwidth. You might not see the weight, but you feel it. Every time you open your phone or your laptop and see the chaos, your brain registers stress. That's unnecessary and avoidable. What you allow in your space either supports your peace or steals from it. Be intentional. Choose simplicity. Choose air and light and space over piles and noise. You don't need more storage, you need less stuff. You don't need more containers. You need stronger boundaries. When you take control of your space, you send a message to yourself that your life is under construction, that you are making room for what you actually want instead of hoarding what you no longer need. There's something freeing about walking into a room that feels clean, open, and purposeful. You breathe deeper, you think clearer, you stand taller, you move differently when your surroundings match the life you're trying to build. A clean space doesn't solve every problem, but it removes one layer of resistance you don't need. It clears the way so your focus can land where it matters most, on your goals, your health, your growth, your future. This is not about perfection. You don't need to live like a magazine cover. You just need to stop letting your environment reflect your fears. Stop keeping things because you're afraid to let go. Stop surrounding yourself with reminders of failure, loss, or confusion. Let your space mirror your intention, not your hesitation. You can't step fully into the next version of yourself while dragging pieces of the old one behind you. Growth demands space. Energy needs room to move. You are not just cleaning your home, you're creating a fan for your next level. Every item you release is an act of self-respect. Every corner you clear is a signal to life that you're ready for more. That you're not afraid to begin again. That you value clarity more than comfort. You don't have to wait for a new year or a big event to start. You can start now, today. Look around. What needs to go? What needs to change? What needs your attention? Don't just think about it, do it. Take action. One step at a time. One decision at a time. Clean with purpose. Declutter with confidence. Remove anything that no longer contributes to the person you are becoming. Because your space matters. Your energy matters. And you deserve to live in an environment that lifts you higher. Number 8, say no to what drains you without guilt or apology. If you want to take control of your life, learning to say no without guilt is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Saying yes to everything and everyone drains your energy, steals your focus, and leaves you empty at the end of the day. Your time and energy are limited resources. When you give them away to things that don't serve you, you lose your ability to show up fully for what truly matters. This week you have to commit to saying no to whatever drains you. No apologies, no guilt, just protection for your own well-being. The problem is that most people have been conditioned to feel bad about saying no. They think they're being rude, selfish, or disappointing if they don't say yes. But that's a lie. Saying no is an act of respect for yourself and for others. When you say no to something that drains you, you're actually saying yes to your priorities, your health, and your peace of mind. That kind of no clears space for what deserves your attention. It's a yes to growth, clarity, and energy. Every time you say yes when you don't want to, you borrow time and energy from your future self. You rob yourself of the focus you need to chase your goals. You build resentment inside that no one sees, but you feel deeply. That resentment weighs on your spirit and clouds your mind. It's subtle, But it's deadly. It kills motivation. It shrinks confidence. It slows progress. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must start by protecting your energy through honest no's. Saying no doesn't mean you're rejecting people. It means you're protecting your boundaries. You're telling yourself and the world that your time is valuable and that you won't be drained by things that don't contribute to your well-being. Boundaries are not walls. They're bridges to better relationships. When you say no with clarity and confidence, you teach others how to treat you. You create space for connections that lift you up instead of dragging you down. You will feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. People might push back. They might try to guilt you. They might question your decisions, but your responsibility is not to please everyone. Your responsibility is to protect your energy and move toward your goals. The discomfort is temporary. The freedom you gain from saying no without guilt lasts forever. That freedom is worth any awkward moment or difficult conversation. Start by identifying what drains you. Is it certain people, certain activities, commitments you said yes to out of obligation but never wanted? Once you know what drains you, decide to say no to it. Practice it in small ways. Say no to the extra work that doesn't belong to you. Say no to events that don't excite you. Say no to habits that wear you out. Each no strengthens your ability to protect your focus and fuel your growth. You don't have to explain yourself. No one needs to know your entire reasoning. A simple no is enough. You don't owe anyone an apology for choosing your peace. When you make peace with your no, you take power away from guilt. You stop feeling like you have to justify your boundaries. Saying no becomes a natural act of self-care instead of a source of anxiety. Respect your time as if it were money, because it is more valuable. You wouldn't spend money recklessly and regret it later, so don't spend your time that way either. Guard your schedule. Guard your energy. Guard your mind. When you say no to what drains you, you say yes to opportunity, growth, and clarity. You set yourself up for success because you're operating from a place of strength, not exhaustion. Notice how your body feels when you say yes unwillingly. There's tension, fatigue, maybe even resentment. That's your internal warning system telling you that you're out of alignment. Listen to it. Don't silence it with excuses or people-pleasing. Honor that feeling by saying no next time. Your body and mind will thank you. You will start to feel lighter, more focused, and more in control. Saying no is a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. You'll begin to recognize opportunities that are worth your yes and those that are not. Your days will start to fill with more meaningful activities. Your energy will become a resource that fuels your goals instead of a resource drained by obligation. That shift is powerful, and it all starts with the courage to say no. Some people confuse kindness with always saying yes. But true kindness includes respect for your own limits. Saying no when you need to is a kindness to yourself and to others, because it means you can be fully present when you do say yes. It means you bring your best self instead of a tired, distracted version. People respect authenticity, and authentic no's are part of that. Don't let guilt hijack your decisions. Guilt is a poor advisor. It tells you to sacrifice your well-being to keep others happy, but it rarely leads to lasting happiness for anyone. When you say no without guilt, you create a space where real relationships can grow. Relationships based on respect, not obligation. You teach others to value you and your boundaries. You have a right to protect your energy. You have a right to choose what you allow in your life. Saying no without apology is one of the most effective ways to take your power back. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to fix everyone's problems. You only have to protect your path and walk it with intention. This week, commit to saying no to at least one thing that drains you every day. Notice how it feels. Notice the relief that follows. Notice how much more energy you have to invest in your goals. Notice your mindset shifts when you stop overextending yourself. This is your path to becoming unrecognizable, a stronger, clearer, more focused version of yourself who values peace and progress above pleasing everyone. Take ownership of your time and energy by saying no freely. Say no boldly. Say no kindly. Say no confidently. And don't look back, because when you protect what fuels you, you unlock the best version of yourself. That is where real transformation begins. That is where your new life starts. Number 9, look people in the eye and own your presence. Your eyes are the gateway to your confidence and your power. When you look someone in the eye, you are telling them and yourself that you belong. You are here, you are present, you have value. Yet so many people avoid eye contact because it feels vulnerable or intimidating. They look down, away, or to the side, hiding behind distractions or shyness. But if you want to change how the world sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself, owning your presence starts with looking others square in the eye. Eye contact isn't about intimidation or dominance. It's about connection and honesty. It shows you're engaged and that you respect both yourself and the person in front of you. When you avoid eye contact, you send the message that you don't trust yourself or the conversation. You tell your mind that you don't deserve to be fully seen or heard. That small action, looking away, adds up over time and can hold you back from opportunities and meaningful relationships. Owning your presence means you stop shrinking to fit other people's comfort zones. You stop pretending to be invisible or less important. When you hold eye contact, you demonstrate that you are fully here and ready to engage with life on your terms. That presence commands respect without saying a word. It's one of the simplest ways to build confidence because it forces you to face the moment head on, instead of retreating. If this feels uncomfortable, that's exactly why you need to practice. Confidence grows through small acts of courage, repeated over time. Start by looking in the eyes of people you trust. Friends, family, coworkers, and gaze a little longer than usual. Notice how it feels. You might feel exposed at first. You might want to look away quickly. That's normal. But keep going. The discomfort fades with practice. What grows is a new sense of strength. When you look people in the eye, your mind stops wandering. Your focus sharpens. You become more aware of your thoughts and feelings. That awareness leads to better communication. You listen more deeply. You respond more clearly. Conversations become more authentic. That authenticity builds trust. People sense when you are present and real, and they respond to that energy. Owning your presence is about more than just eye contact. It's about your entire posture, your tone, and your energy. But the eyes are the first place to start. They are the window to how you show up. When you combine strong eye contact with an upright posture and calm breathing, you project confidence without trying. People naturally gravitate toward that presence because it feels safe and genuine. Avoiding eye contact is often a habit formed by fear of judgment or rejection. You might worry about being seen as arrogant or confrontational. But those fears are illusions. Looking someone in the eye is not aggressive. It's respectful. It's honest. It says you are willing to engage fully, without hiding or pretending. That willingness changes how people interact with you and how you interact with yourself. This practice has a ripple effect. When you own your presence with your eyes, you start to believe in your own worth more deeply. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more authority. You make decisions more confidently. You stand firm in your values and goals because you no longer avoid being fully seen. That internal shift impacts every area of your life, from personal relationships to professional success. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, start by showing up fully. Look people in the eye. Don't let fear or discomfort make you small. Remember that your presence is your power. It is the way you communicate your worth without words. Practice it daily, in meetings, at the store, with friends. Let it become natural. The more you do it, the more you reclaim yourself. There will be moments when you feel shy or uncertain, when your eyes want to dart away. That's the old version of you trying to stay hidden. But the new you doesn't back down. The new you yearns into the moment. You hold the gaze. You own the space. You say without speaking, I am here and I matter. You will notice. People respond differently. They pay more attention. They listen more closely. They treat you with more respect. Not because you said something different, but because you showed up differently. That presence changes the energy in the room. It changes how you feel inside. It changes what you believe you are capable of. This practice requires honesty with yourself. It means acknowledging the moments you avoid connection and choosing to step into them instead. It means pushing past the discomfort of being fully seen. Because that's where growth happens. That's where real confidence is built. Not in hiding, but in facing yourself and the world squarely. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You don't have to be in the perfect mood. Start now. When someone speaks to you, look them in the eye. When you walk into a room, hold your head high and meet eyes with those around you. Let your presence be a statement that you are no longer willing to blend in or disappear. Remember, your eyes reveal your story. They show your courage, your doubts, your truth. By owning your presence, you take control of that story. You decide how you show up and how much power you give away. This week, practice owning your presence with every interaction. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your life shifts. Because when you look the world in the eye, you declare to yourself that you are ready to live fully and without apology. Number 10, do one hard thing daily that makes you stronger. The fastest way to build strength inside and out is to do one hard thing every single day. Not easy, not comfortable, but something that challenges you. Something that makes you want to quit but forces you to keep going. That's where growth happens. That's where your limits expand. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, this is your secret weapon. Commit to doing one hard thing daily that makes you stronger, and watch your entire life shift. Most people avoid hard things. They stay in comfort zones because it's safe and predictable. But comfort zones are prisons disguised as peace. They keep you stuck in the same patterns, the same results, the same version of yourself. Real change demands effort. It demands discomfort. It demands pushing beyond what feels familiar. That one hard thing could be physical, mental, emotional, or even spiritual. Whatever it is, it has to stretch you. Doing hard things isn't about being perfect, it's about being willing. Willing to face resistance. Willing to feel awkward. Willing to be uncomfortable. That willingness creates momentum. It rewires your brain to chase challenges instead of avoiding them. Every time you choose difficulty over ease, you build courage and resilience. Those are the qualities that separate those who dream from those who achieve. This week, look for something that pushes you beyond your normal limits. It could be waking up an hour earlier to work on your goals. It could be having a difficult conversation you've been putting off. It could be tackling a task you've been avoiding because it feels overwhelming. It could be doing a workout that tests your endurance. Whatever it is, don't talk yourself out of it. Don't wait for motivation or the perfect moment. Just do it. The moment you decide to face one hard thing daily, you send a powerful message to your mind and body. I am in control. That message builds your confidence. It reminds you that you are capable of more than you think. It shows you that the pain of effort is temporary, but the reward lasts forever. The pride you feel after completing a hard task is fuel that feeds your next challenge. Some days will be easier than others. Some days the hard thing will feel impossible. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when you grow the most. Those are the days that separate winners or quitters. Push through. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what you're building. Remind yourself that strength is earned one hard choice at a time. Doing one hard thing every day rewires your habits. It trains your brain to expect discomfort as part of progress. It makes fear less powerful because you face it regularly. Over time, you won't run from difficulty. You'll run toward it. You'll embrace it as the pathway to your best self. That kind of mental toughness changes everything from how you handle stress to how you pursue your dreams. Hard things don't have to be monumental. They just have to be intentional. The key is consistency. The power comes from showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when your mind protests. That consistency builds unshakable discipline. Discipline that shows up in all areas of life. Discipline that makes your goals not just possible, but inevitable. By doing one hard thing daily, you start to see obstacles as opportunities. You stop fearing failure because you know you can handle discomfort. You stop waiting for permission or the right timing. You become a force of nature, simply because you refuse to settle. That refusal changes how you see yourself and how others see you. Strength built through daily challenges is more than physical. It's mental strength to face setbacks without losing hope. It's emotional strength to hold your ground in difficult conversations. It's spiritual strength to keep believing when the path is unclear. All of these grow from one hard thing done consistently. You will notice changes fast. Your energy will rise. Your mindset will shift. Your confidence will soar. You'll wake up feeling more alive, more capable, more ready. You'll carry a new sense of pride and accomplishment that spills over into every decision. That's the power of consistent effort toward hard things. Don't wait for a grand plan or perfect conditions. Start with whatever hard thing you can do right now. Write a difficult email. Say no to a distraction. Get up 5 minutes earlier. Push through one extra set of your workout. Face one uncomfortable truth. These small steps build a foundation for massive change. Remember, growth is not a one-time event. It's a daily commitment to doing what's hard when it's easier to quit. The hardest part is starting. After that, every day you do one hard thing, you get stronger. You prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort. You prove that you are bigger than your fear. This week, make a promise to yourself. No matter what happens, you will do one hard thing every day. No excuses, no bargaining, just action. That promise will transform your mindset, your habits, and your future. You will become unrecognizable because you chose strength over E. You chose progress over comfort. The hardest battles bring the strongest victories. When you push your limits daily, you unlock potential you didn't know existed. You discover new depths of courage. You build resilience that carries you through any storm. And that is how you become the person you were meant to be. Start now. Find your hard thing today. Do it fully. Then do it again tomorrow. And the next day. Keep building. Keep pushing. Keep proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Because Zenith is earned by doing hard things, not once, but every day.